little
Oh, okay.
attachment of the
Yeah,
week?
what I have here is a couple of cool attachments that I think are just really interesting. This is a 32 gigabyte thumb drive, and it has a standard USB connector on one end, so I can just plug it into my laptop as normal to make a, it's a 32 gigabyte USB drive, so I have a lot of storage on here. But on the other end here, it has the micro USB port. Let's see if I can hold that up a little closer. And what I can do with this, now it doesn't work on all phones, but on my phone, I can plug this in to my standard micro USB on my phone, and it will be recognized as another drive. So I can offload pictures onto this, and now I can take them to any other device that accepts it, either regular USB or micro USB, and I can transfer those files, or I can show those files directly. So I've been starting to use this now for some of the videos that I've been taking with my quadcopter. And it is just such a neat little device, and it works with standard USB, and it works. So we're kind of used to using these things, right? These are the standard USB drives. And this just replaces this one. This is only a 4 gigabyte drive, this yellow one here, but this one here, 32 gigabytes. So it has a lot of capacity, and it really does work well so far. Now, it doesn't work with Apple devices. It does not, because even with our little adapter from micro to, what's that called, Lightning, it doesn't work with that. But I think that particular, this little doohickey here, it's hard to see because it's so small. This goes into a Lightning connector and is micro USB on this side. Anyway, I think that's just for power. So you can use a regular micro USB power cord, and it'll work to charge your Apple device or our mini iPad.
How do I watch your videos on a tablet? And we said, well, you have to connect to the internet and watch them on our website. But no, what if what one person said, yeah, they were going to Mexico and they were not going to have any internet, and they were really looking forward to being able to watch all our videos from the thumb drive. So we copied them to a micro SD card, and that had, her tablet had a place for a micro SD card, but then somebody else's didn't.
Okay, so now we have this device. This is just an adapter, it's a card reader. So it has a slot for a micro SD card, and it has a slot for a standard SD card over here. It has a micro USB connector, so it can plug into a smartphone or tablet, and it has a standard USB port here so that it can plug into a standard USB device. Man, there are just so many different choices. And I ran into somebody in the store this week who had her stuff on a Sony, what are they called? They're special card anyway, that goes into the
just
Sony.
A stick, a
memory stick.
Yeah.
That Sony had. It was proprietary. And she brought this thing into the store to try and get it transferred to a standard USB device. And I suggested, well, why don't you just buy a card reader that'll handle that memory stick and plug into the USB? And she was really thrilled with that idea. That way she doesn't have to go through that rigmarole every time. She just plugs in the USB card reader, plugs in her memory stick, and now she has all of her files. And wow.
So where there's a will, there's a way. Even though these little tiny things don't have the connectors that you want them to have, there's a way.
Okay. So this is an educational show about smartphones and tablets. I hope we've learned.
And all sorts of gadgets.
And yeah, and I hope you've learned something already.
Oh, is that?
Did I say whew?
Is that Bob Brown?
Yeah, that's Bob Brown.
Okay. Stay on, Bob. I might need you to to share a Dropbox with.
Okay, David's on there, and so
David is on
yeah,
there?
David's there, and Bill Osborne's there, and
Wow.
yeah, we
the
got
whole
the whole
gang's all
yeah,
here.
the gang's all here. So we do invite you to become a member at geeksontour.com. You can do that on our website, or if you're at the FMCA rally in Pomona next week, you can do it there. It would be really great to see you guys. Okay, I'm Jim, and together with my wife, Chris, we are the Geeks on Tour. Do you think your smartphone is smarter than you? Do you have questions about your Android or your iPad tablet? And how do you learn about these amazing devices that are just all over our table here? Well,
we are geeks who teach.
Get with the program here.
That was my cue.
Was your cue?
We think the best way to learn is in little bits on a regular basis. So that's why we came up with this show. We have a beginner's lesson because we think beginners get kind of left out with all the bells and whistles that everybody likes to talk about. So, and all of our videos are on our website, geeksontour.com.
Okay. So, where are we now?
We're still in the same place that we were a week ago.
Oh, wow, that hardly ever happens.
I've taken a lot of naps this week.
And you deserve those naps, too. You've been working so hard, and we have one more week of heavy-duty seminars to present, and that'll be in Pomona for the FMCA.
On the next page, I took another picture here. I just thought that was so cool.
Oh, what a nice picture.
The palm trees around here. Now, that is not our RV. I don't know whose it is. I just like the reflection in their windshield.
Okay, the way we do the show is we have quick tips, and I think we already did that with our devices here. And we'll have a beginner's lesson, and we're getting ready to go into that right now. But it's something that we think is important for beginners to know about their smartphones and tablets. And we'll work with the iPad, and we'll show that, and we'll go to the Android. Our app feature of the week is what we just did, I guess, and then we'll take questions. So the show is recorded, by the way, at YouTube. Anyone can watch it for free, and all of the reruns, all of our archived videos are up there, and you get to that at geeksontour.com/weekly show. And if you subscribe to our YouTube channel, then you will get notifications of any time we put something new up there. Okay.
No, we'll do that at the end.
We'll do that at the end.
Yeah.
Walk, don't talk. How many times have you seen somebody just with their head down on their device and just walking and stumbling over curbs and stuff?
I could walk right into a brick wall real easy.
Okay, beginner's lesson, Chris.
Dropbox Part 2. I hope you watched last week's. That was where we just talked about what Dropbox is, how to get it, how to sign up for an account, and how to use it for cloud storage and backup. We love Dropbox. Now, we also talked about a little bit about the other cloud storage systems. There's Apple's iCloud, Microsoft's OneDrive, and Google Drive. And they are all good. We tend to gravitate to Dropbox because it's not Microsoft, Google, or Apple. You know, it is independent, and they work well with all of the above.
Okay.
It's also been around a long time, so we have been using it for several years. So as much as we can understand anything, we understand this. So this week, as much as anything about the cloud really is tough to understand. So sharing is what we're talking about today.
Okay.
Using Dropbox to work with other people, not just to back up and design your own system, to back up with other people. So when email isn't enough, I mean, that's what we're used to doing to share with other people, right?
Mm-hmm.
But what if a file is too big?
And they're getting bigger and bigger all the time.
Bigger and bigger. You do not want to email that huge file.
Some email systems won't even accept a file
Won't allow
large.
it.
Yeah.
So that's the first thing that you use Dropbox for, sharing a single file that's too big to share via email. Number 2 is to share groups of files, a whole folder. You have a whole folder full of stuff that you want somebody else to see, to have access to, or possibly a whole group of people to see.
Okay.
No,
what?
But you weren't on. I'm sorry.
Where am I supposed to be?
Are they seeing that?
Yes,
okay.
They see that.
Okay. And last but definitely not least, this is where it gets really powerful, is to collaborate using a shared folder. So realize links to share a file or a folder are just one way. You just send a link, the people can see what's at that link. Collaborate is multiple ways. It's a way to have a server, basically, for a group of people. Okay, so let me see if I can do it. We shall try.
Okay.
All right.
You want to go to this then, huh?
Well, go to the next. The next slide just has questions, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So yes, I want to first talk a second. Now you have a big file, right? That I haven't seen. We'll pretend.
She's never seen my big file.
And let's say I'm on the other side of the country. You can't email that to me. So what do? You put it in your Dropbox.
Right. I save this file. Now, typically the large files that I need to send around are video files. And so I'll do a little bit of video, mostly with my quadcopter that I just love working with. And I will save that file into a Dropbox folder on my computer. Now, if you remember from last week, Dropbox folders, it's just a folder on your computer, but it's a magic folder. It's a folder that automatically, with an account with Dropbox, will synchronize to the cloud and then back down to any device that is connected with that account. Or you can also send a link for that shared folder or file to someone, and they will be able to access that folder or file.
Okay, so that's what he's done to me. He has sent me a link in an email.
Okay.
And I'm going to show you on both iPad and Android how that works. So here's my mail.
We're on that.
And I'm just opening up my Gmail, and hopefully it'll be a relatively top level. There we go. Jim. Ooh. Oh, not seeing that real good, huh?
Let's do, hang on just a sec.
That's almost. Exposure 3 is what I usually leave it at. Oh, that's better.
Okay.
That's better.
All right.
Okay. So I see an email here from Jim Gould. I tap on it, and there is the link. So this is an itty-bitty email. All it has in it is a link. I tap the link, and we can see the big file that was attached to that. And this is something we wanted to show them. This is aerial video around this particular park, which is pretty cool. And notice I do have the option to download it. And this is saying, we don't know if you have a Dropbox account or not. If you have one, sign in, or you can get a new one. you do not have to have a Dropbox account. I am going to not sign in. I just tap the X. You do not have to have a Dropbox account in order to take advantage of the Dropbox link that somebody sends you.
That's a real important point.
Yeah.
Because people think that just because they... Now, when you get that email, it will invite you to become or to create an account with Dropbox, and you can just sign in if you do have an account. No big deal. But you don't have to have a Dropbox account in order to do that.
Okay, so let's play this.
How cool is that?
Now, you do have to have an internet connection for this to work.
Yeah, it's real important. And that's what's so scary about our show. We never know.
All right. So
Cool.
I just thought that was something fun to show you and teach about Dropbox at the same time.
And I just took that video
yesterday.
Yeah, last night.
Yeah.
Happy hour. Happy hour.
And what am I playing this on? It's on an iPad. So even though I don't have a USB connection or anything, I can watch that as long as I have an internet connection and get a link to Dropbox. Now, how would you send a link using an iPad? Well, as we did last week, you first have to have the Dropbox app installed, and I do. There's Dropbox. And all of my files that I use Dropbox for will show up here.
Eventually.
Eventually, yeah.
There they are.
And I have some PowerPoint files. PowerPoint files are pretty big also, or videos, or music.
I'm going to mess you up here for a second.
Okay. All right, I'm looking for an appropriate file. And so
just wing it.
Geeks Aaron, there's some big ones in here. All right. So let's say I wanted to send him this file, which is 800 megabytes.
That's a big file.
The way you see the options, so step 1 is select the file that you want to send. Step 2 is find the options. Now on a computer you would right click. On the iPad you swipe to the right to reveal the options. And there is the share option. And I could just share via email, but no, that's not what I want. To just copy the link. So see that option down there?
Yep.
Copy the link. Link copied.
That's not very intuitive, though, is it?
No,
to turn it, just swipe from the right.
To swipe over, yeah. Swipe over, copy link. And then I would go back to my email and, because I didn't want to send the file in an email, I just wanted to copy the link and send the link in an email.
That's the much better way to let people find these things.
Now, how do you paste? And
do you swipe from the right?
No, that's a long press. A long press, and the option to paste should reveal itself. So there's the link, and I would click send. I'm not going to. You really don't need that. But so that's it. You swipe to the right, choose share, copy link, and then you can paste that link in somewhere else. Okay. Now, so that's for a file.
One file.
What about a folder? And we had the perfect example of this the other day. A friend who we communicate with mostly using our village. And I have our village on here. And, right, let's see if I can find it by searching. Our village. If I could type.
I can type better than that. Come on.
All right, so there's our village. And this is Bruce, and he had some pictures that he had taken of us at the last escapade last week. And come on, it usually remembers me.
Unless you really need it to,
Right.
And then it doesn't.
Right.
All right. Everybody getting that password?
Right. And I have no idea what the password is. Okay. No, not now. Don't bother me with all these things when I'm on a live show.
Okay.
Doesn't it know that I'm on a live show?
I guess not.
And it didn't like that at all. Okay, I might just have to show this on the Android. I have it all set up.
Yeah, do it on the Android. Yeah, that all set up.
Now, does anybody see our village icon on here?
I think you took it off.
Did I?
I don't know.
I might have.
Yeah.
All right. Well, then, let me just show you on this one how you would send a folder of content to somebody. So we go back to Dropbox. And the only difference is, instead of selecting a file and then getting your options, you select a folder. So I made this folder of pictures from Escapade. This is in my Dropbox. It's a folder. And the main picture I wanted to send is this one. So if I just wanted to send that picture, that's Bruce and his wife, Linda. And I could swipe over to the right, which reveals my options, and I could share just that picture. But that's kind of silly. I could do that in an email, one picture. I want to share the whole folder. So for that, all you do is get back up to where you're seeing the folder, and then swipe over to the right to reveal your options, tap the share, and send link. We'll do collaboration next. So I would send link and send link via email. That would be fine. Or I could post the link on Facebook. I could post the link on Twitter if I wanted to. Or I could just copy the link so that I could paste it into an Our Village message. All right, so that was the first two things. You can get a link to one file. You can get a link to a folder of files. The last thing is to collaborate. So, and here I'm going to enlist some volunteers from the audience. And I'm going to say, let's pretend that, David and Bill and me are on a committee for an escapade.
Oh, that sounds dangerous.
And our job is to assign tram drivers. And I'd thought of this because David was just a tram driver at the last one. So I have made a folder called Escapade Tram Assignments, and it has an Excel file in it that I have already started making assignments, but there's a bunch of blanks in here, and I want David and Bill to fill in those blanks. So what you do is you collaborate, not just share. So I'm going to go to the right to reveal the options, tap on the share option, and then invite people to collaborate. And notice I'm inviting them to the folder. You can't do that for just one file. It has to be a whole folder full. So I'm going to...
No, it could be a folder with just one file.
Yes, yes, of course. Oh dear, it's Great Escape. GR. Okay, of course, my contacts aren't showing up here. I need to tell it it's okay.
It's always something. And then it has to refresh your contacts.
So, but I know that his just SK?
SKP.
Great Escape.
I think.
At Google, at Gmail.
Gmail.
Okay. And
Bill Osborne.
put your name in somewhere here. Name in some slots. Okay, and Bill's is... Ah, good, it's coming up. Okay, so I send an invite to them. And now they didn't even know this was happening. So we'll see. You know, I should invite you also, just in case we need it.
I don't want to be invited to anything to do with tram driving.
Okay.
That's not what I do.
Okay. So, but that's all you do to establish the link. Now, when they get that invitation, they need to accept it, and then they have the rights to edit. Okay. And we'll let them do that, and we'll come back to it later.
Okay. Here's a quick question. Can you have multiple Dropbox accounts on one computer? I don't know why you would really want to, but I don't...
Well, it's not... Let me see. You would have to log out of one and log in to the other. I mean, the Dropbox is an app on your computer. You actually download this app. It looks just like a folder, but it is an app, and it is logged into an account.
Right.
And
it creates that Dropbox folder in your folder system, in your file system.
For that account. So
yeah, I guess you could, but
where there's a will,
yuck.
there's a way, but that doesn't sound like
no,
a good idea.
Not probably a good idea.
The better way, if you share a folder with another account, it becomes part of that account. So that's what you need to do. So for example, and we will show you this when we go back to the computer, Jim has his own Dropbox account.
Right.
I have my Dropbox account. But I set up a folder in that account, just like this Escapees tram assignments. I set up a folder called Geeks Folder. And I shared that with Jim. So it is now automatically synchronized into his account.
Right.
So if I add a file, it's automatically in his account in the shared folder.
Right, and I did something similar with my pictures. My camera uploads folder on my Dropbox account I have shared with Chris. So she sees my Dropbox camera uploads folder whenever she goes in. Now she keeps all the master library of all of our pictures. So once she unloads the pictures onto her computer of the uploads that she wants out of my cameras, then I can go in and delete those from the Dropbox folder, and that saves space.
Yeah. Yeah, it's awesome. And that is one of the main things that we've decided we like best about Dropbox. I mean, OneDrive, we have a terabyte of space in our Microsoft OneDrive because we use Office 365. And you can share folders there too. You can collaborate on folders. But the shared folder doesn't automatically synchronize down to your computer.
Right, and when we're not connected to the internet, we really need that.
We need it to be available offline on both our computers. So that's I think the best way to do that. Okay, I'm going to the Android now, and we'll just do the same things that I just did on the iPad. Number one is to show how you can share a link to a file. So my Dropbox is in here with all my other cloud apps. There's Dropbox. And I have, let's go to this Escapade 2015. Now here, this is a little bit more intuitive. There's no swiping here. There's a little drop-down arrow that reveals the options.
That makes a lot more sense.
Yeah, I like that better too. And there's the share, and it even says share, so you don't have to guess what icon it is. So if I shared that, I would just be sharing one file, and I can copy link. But if I would rather share the whole folder, I go back up a level. This is just a hierarchy of folders, and choose the little drop-down arrow next to the whole folder, and share, and send a link. People with link can view these files. Invite to folder, that's the collaboration issue. So, but let me go ahead and send it. Did I ever send them to? Actually, I just want to.
I don't see any indication here that anybody got an invitation, so so we'll have to take a look.
So if I copy the link to that folder, now let's see if I can go to our village on this one. Since this is my phone that I use all the time, things are a little bit more, I can find things better. These become such personal devices.
Yeah, they really do. And we think that's the way they should be. To share one of these phones with a couple is just...
No, they are personal devices. So there's my Our Village here, and hopefully it remembers who I am, and I'm all logged in here. Ugh. Okay.
Nobody else out there ever gets that message, do they?
Okay, go back. No. Our Village.
Hey. We did practice this, I remember.
We did, yes. Okay, but at least my credentials are entered and I can sign in. Enter. They're also very touchy. Yay, there we go. And now I can go look at my messages, and there's the message that I got from Bruce, and he sent me a link to a Dropbox with pictures that he took of us. And yeah, I said, thanks, great pics. An even better example for me to use on Sunday's show about using Dropbox to share files.
If you can ever get there.
Right. So I can look at the pictures that he sent me. I don't even have to have Dropbox. And there are all the pictures he sent me. I can either just look at them or I can download them to my device. I can send him. Remember, I just copied a link to a folder of files, and I want to send him that link. So this isn't email, this isn't Dropbox, this is Our Village, and I can just paste that link in and send reply. So you can also use that link on your website, on your blog, and that's how we use Dropbox, that's where we store everything, and then we can link to it on our website. Yeah, let's come back to the computer.
All right. Grant Osborne says that Bill just edited and saved the link, so
Okay,
we can
cool.
go in there and look.
Oh, his son, that's what's going on.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, his son's with him. So I'm going to look on the computer. I mean, this can be done on the mobile devices, but as you probably realize, even though everything can be done on a mobile device, join share folder. The share folder Escapade Tram Assignments is now in your Dropbox. So I can just click that. And there's the tram assignments. Things are a lot easier on a computer. That's all.
Ain't that the truth?
It can be done on a mobile device,
but it can be
it's
painful.
Easier on a computer. Okay, so that's still just the original one saying that the invitation was accepted. We're not seeing the update yet from Bill, but I'm confident that we will. Now, how do people use this? They use this, people all over the world can collaborate on writing books, for example, book authors and editors, and I've done that actually with Bill's wife, Chris. I created a folder that we both are using for, Osborne and Geeks. Osborne and Geeks. Chris offered to help me edit some things that I want to publish. And I put my file in a Dropbox. I shared it with her and gave her rights to edit. And she has done some editing. Now, Chris, if you're watching too, I know I've kind of dropped the ball on this. I will get back to it. All right. So let's see if the Escapade Tram Assignments 1010. Nope, hasn't been updated yet. Now, this is still the internet, so you know how these things go.
But it's been our experience that it does eventually.
It does work.
It
absolutely does work, and it allows us as a business. I mean, before Dropbox, if I created a document that was for our business, and Jim says, ooh, I have some ideas of things to add to that document. What did we have to do? We had to copy it to a thumb drive, take it over to his laptop, let him put it onto his computer and edit it, give me the thumb drive back. How often do you think we forgot one of those steps and it didn't get edited?
Never happened with us. If we were always meticulously careful and...
Now we don't have to do any of that. We are working on the same file, and Dropbox takes care of putting it to the thumb drive, that's basically the cloud, and downloading it to his computer.
And now the important part is to be connected to the internet so that those files will synchronize. And we run into that sometimes because we tend to do things last minute.
Nah. All right, now what if I didn't have my computer? I wonder if maybe I could go to Dropbox.com, but no. That's you're gonna have to trust us on this. Thanks, Bill and David for playing.
Yeah. Okay.
But I'm not seeing the update yet.
All right. Bill says he wants a quadcopter, but he's afraid he'll crash and burn it. And then Grant says, your first copter should be a cheap one because you will crash it. No way.
Okay.
You ready?
Yep.
All right. Oh, like us on Facebook. I think you should. Just because. Did you learn something? Don't trust her. Okay. Right. Use Dropbox to send someone a big file. Number 1, put the file in your Dropbox account. Number 2, select the file and view it, or view your
Dropbox
options,
which is different depending on which device you have.
Okay, and number 3, choose
copy link and share with link.
Okay. Number 2, to send someone a whole folder of files, there's just one difference from the above. What do you change about number 2?
All you do differently is you select the folder and then view the options and choose copy link.
Okay. True or false? If you send someone a link to a folder of files, they can edit those files.
False. If you do it by a link is just that. It's just a link. Whoever has the link can see the files. They don't need to have Dropbox, nothing.
Now, they can download those to their own computer,
yes,
and work within there, but they won't be synchronizing anywhere.
Right, and they can also share that link with somebody else.
Okay.
If I give you a link, you can give that link to somebody else. Whoever has the link can see the files.
So collaboration is the key to that. If you're collaborating with someone on a folder of files, each collaborator must have a Dropbox account.
Yes.
That is true.
Yes. That
okay.
For that to basically be your network server, your business server of your files, both parties or all parties. It can be whole groups. What a great thing for clubs.
It is.
For clubs to have basically a file server that's accessible by anyone. And how much did this cost?
It's all free.
It's all free.
But you do need to have an internet connection, for all of this to happen. So.
And if you start bumping up against the limits of the free space, then it's $10 a month, and I think that gets you a terabyte.
Yeah, it's certainly doable, especially for an organization. Okay, so what is the web page that lists all of our weekly shows, Chris?
GeeksOnTour.com, and then the menu item is Weekly Show.
Okay, and the web page that lists all of our recent newsletters?
GeeksOnTour.com, and the menu item is Blogs and Articles, newsletters under there.
And we have 2 free e-newsletters, and we invite you to sign up for those. And what benefits do you get by joining the two? Geeks on Tour.
Access to all of our tutorial videos and the ability to ask us questions. If you ask in the forum, we promise to answer. No such promise when it comes to email.
Yeah, they can get lost. Emails are a mess.
And then last but not getting more important every day is the show notes from these shows. Whenever we finish with the show, and it's recorded on YouTube, anybody can watch the YouTube, but if you are a member, you'll get the benefit of my notes on it and links.
And so do become a member. Just go to geeksontour.com and sign up there.
Tram Assignments was updated.
Uh-oh. Tram Assignments was updated.
So
alarm.
We're going to go take a look so that you don't have to just trust me.
I don't trust her. All right, go ahead.
You have the mouse.
Have the mouse.
So we go to Dropbox.
And you see the little notification down on the lower right?
Yeah, there's a little notification down here. So I can just click there. You know, that's the Dropbox app informing me that something has happened.
And that's down in the system tray.
Yeah. So I open it up. And Dolly P. and Betty W. and Vanna have been added as tram drivers.
Okay.
Yay!
Yeah, see, it did work.
It did work. Now, people always ask, what if you're working on them at the same time? That can be an issue.
Yeah.
You end up, Dropbox, when it sees a conflict, it will save both copies, and then it's up to you to figure it out.
Now, David says he's used this many times and it works great, but right now I still haven't received anything. Gee, that never happens to us.
Really?
Okay.
Okay. Well, thanks for playing along, and you got to see that it does indeed work. Okay.
Back to the slideshow. And next week's beginner lesson.
No, I didn't. Well, next week we're going to be teaching at FMCA.
That's right. We're not going to have a show next Sunday.
So we don't have one next Sunday.
We will actually be presenting to a live audience, and it might be
Not that you guys aren't live. But,
That's true.
So presumably we will do it the following Sunday. We'll be on the road somewhere headed east.
Oh.
We'll probably be in New Mexico or so by that.
Oh boy,
By that
hot
Sunday.
springs.
And I haven't decided on a topic. So, on our weekly show page, there is now a link for a suggestion box. So how about it?
Yeah.
Put in a suggestion of what you'd like to see us cover in our beginners lesson.
Okay. And we will take questions. If you leave your questions in the comments, either here on the Google Plus page for the event or on our YouTube page, you can see it there too. Okay. Geeks on Tour, technology training. I am just...
We need some. Hey, what was it? When you teach to learn.
Yes, when one teaches
to learn.
So we'll see you in 2 weeks now.
2 weeks.
For What Does This Button Do? And Chris, what does that button do?
I have no idea, but I'm going to keep pressing them until I figure it out.